My name is Hong Lee. Thank you for the opportunity to interview for the unit manager position today.
Hi Hong, I have a few questions for you today. What is your leadership style? Can you give us a few examples of this in action?
My leadership style is transformational. I strive to motivate and inspire my while fostering a collaborative and growth-oriented environment. For example, during interdisciplinary round, I always encourage input from both new and experienced staff. When one of my colleagues suggested a new way to streamline our handoff process, I rallied the team to pilot her idea. We ended up reducing errors and increasing staff satisfaction, and her innovation became our new standard practice.
Can you tell me a time when you faced conflict or disagree with a coworker or leader?
There was a time when I disagreed with a charge nurse during a high admission shift about how to prioritize new admission. Instead of letting frustration fester, I asked for a few minutes in private to discuss my concern. I listened to her perspective and then shared my safety concern openly. Together, we negotiate a solution where assignments were redistributed and we brought in support from the manager. The outcome was a safer, more balanced workload for everyone.
Can you tell me a time when you were faced with a problem and successfully solved it?
Once during a particular busy shift, our electronic medication administration record system, aka EMR, crashed. Recognizing the risk to patient safety, I immediately directed the team to switch to our backup paper mark process. I ensured two-no verification for each medication and kept open communication with pharmacy and IT. We maintain patient safety, accurate record, and avoid medication error until the system will restore.
Tell me a time you faced a shorting staff, either from leadership or employee situation. What were your actions related to being understaffed?
I have experienced acute staffing shortages, especially during respiratory illness season. In one instance, I called in available PRN staff, admitted staff, and cross-trained float nurses to cover critical roles. We defer non-urgent tasks and ensure team members felt supportive, recognizing their extra effort throughout the shift. I also debriefed the team afterward, acknowledge everyone' dedication, and rally staff morale with a thank you lunch after the crisis were over.
What is your strategy to retain employees and maintain morale on the unit?
I believe open communication, regular recognition, and supporting professional role are crucial to retention. I hold bi-weekly check-ins, spotlight staff achievement, and advocate for continuing education opportunity. When staff feel valued and heard, their engagement and morale soar.
How do you offer feedback to employees?
When I offer feedback, I do so privately, constructively, and promptly. Start by recognizing the employee's strength and specific contribution, then address any area of growth at collaborative opportunity. By partnering with the employee to create an action plan, I encourage ownership and improvement while maintaining their dignity.
Can you give an example of how you embrace cultural differences and diversity on your team?
I make it priority to foster inclusivity by celebrating cultural holidays, supporting bilingual staff contribution to care plan, and encouraging the sharing of culturally relevant health practices. For instance, we recently hosted a team lunch where everyone brought food from their culture, which sparked conversation and greater appreciation for each other's backgrounds.
How would you approach an underperforming employee?
I approach underperformance with empathy and clear communication. I meet with the employee privately to discuss my observation, invite their perspective, and together we identify barrier and set smart goals for improvement. I reinforce my support through regular follow-ups and if needed additional training or mentorship.
How would you approach an angry client?
If a client is angry, I remain calm, listen actively, and validate their concern. I apologize sincerely if warranted, and explain the step I'll take to address the issues. My goal is to de escalate, resolve the problem promptly, and follow up to ensure satisfaction and restore trust.
How do you commit to professional development? Can you provide an example?
I am committed to lifelong learning and regularly pursue evidence based practice initiative and certification. For example, after completing a CDC training module on antibiotic stewardship, I share key takeaway with my team and incorporate new protocols into our daily practice to enhance patient safety.
And last question, what would you do if you are presented with a process improvement project with ambiguous directions?
Faced with a project with unclear instruction, I start by clarifying objective and expectation with stakeholders. Then I assess current processes, invite input from frontline staff, and develop a preliminary plan that's flexible. I schedule regular check-in to adapt our approach based on feedback and new information, ensuring steady progress and team engagement. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Hong.